Hey, this is Benny Bloss, and you're listening to the Motoxpod show, best one out there.
Hey, this is Jessica Ma, and you're listening to the Motoxpod show, the only podcast that we listen to down under.
Welcome to the Motoxpod show, starring Darkside, his co-host Scotty, sometimes TJ.
All right, here we go. We are back. Once again, Scotty, another episode of the Motoxpod show. This week, it's episode 228. Lots of good guests, a couple guys we haven't talked to in a long time, but before we get to all that, our title sponsor, along with our co-title sponsor, all our sponsors, Cherubies USA. For decades, Cherubies USA has been the leader in motoplastic accessories. Products that fit perfect, look great, and last. Cherubies has what you need. Whether it's full plastic kits, individual pieces, handguards, chain guides, and sliders, or anything else they offer, visit CherubysUSA.com and support our title sponsor. Follow them on Instagram and let them know that you're listening. I think we still have a winner. Damn it, I did not go through. We got a lot more submissions for the name of the head,
nice,
which I have moved. It's back there on the helmet. I moved some things around. If you guys are on YouTube watching, it's back there by the helmets.
Right.
But I meant to go through those.
Right
we
there.
Pick a winner, but we'll do that on the next show, which is 2 weeks from now. But we're going to give something away from a Cherubies for that. Still haven't told fully that, but we're going to do it anyway.
Surprise!
Yeah, he'll be good. He's cool. Co-title sponsor, Racetech. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket suspension modification company. All Racetech products include award-winning gold valves, and settings are 100% guaranteed, made in the USA. Racetech also offers state-of-the-art precision engine services and parts to all engine builders. Visit racetech.com for more info and use promo code MOTOXPOD to save. Of course, Racetech supports teams like SGB Honda, AJE, Gas, Team Solitaire, and vets like Mike Alessi, Ben LeMay, and off-road master Cody Webb. My forks have been shipped off to Racetech per Kiefer. Well, at least I know he pulled them off the bike yesterday. I assume they shipped.
That's a start.
We're getting closer. We're getting closer to Blue Crew. We're getting closer to new Cherubies Plastic. We're getting closer to new Berm Lords graphics. It is coming. Also on board, Fly Racing. Fly Racing has been developing and innovating its gear line since 1998. You cannot beat the new Formula helmet. There's multiples up there on that helmet tower behind Scotty there. I have 3 of them. I love those freaking helmets. You cannot beat that helmet. X-Brand goggles on board. Bunch of new Lucids I've got in stock. What's up?
Is sound fuzzy? It says the sound's fuzzy. Is that too? You have the.
Yep, it's way too loud. Sorry about that. The YouTube, I had been listening to the external speakers again.
Darkside was jamming out.
I was pulling audio for the wrap-up show. Sorry about that, guys, on YouTube, but it should be good now. So, X-Brand goggles. There's some Lucids sitting there at the end of the table that I just got in. A few of those are Doc Smiths. The blue ones on the camera are mine for the new Blue Crew, but I've got some available for sale. So, yeah, man, hit me up, DarksideMX3 at AOL.com, or just go to your local dealer and ask for X-Brand distributed through WPS. Works Connection also on board with us. You guys know all about the Pro Launch Start Device, the Elite Clutch Perch, many more. Check out WorksConnection.com. Torque One Racing, our jerky. We have a new segment on board that we're going to talk about in just a minute. And we'll get into that. We're going to try to get TJ on in just a minute. And before we get to our guests, we don't have a whole lot of time beforehand, but we have a new Our Jerky segment that we're going to start doing, Scotty, thanks to one of our listeners, had a really cool idea. But again, Berm Lords Graphics and Jersey ID. They can cover your graphics. They can cover your jersey printing. Hit them up. Graphics at bermlords.com. Shock Socks, Williams Moto Works, Extreme Colors Helmet Painting, Blood Lubricants, promo code MOTOX, all caps to save on the new Barracuda line of oil. I shipped some of that out to some of our listeners this week. Power Band Racing for your WP guys, and TruFusion Sports. Derek Kelley's back at it on the West Coast this previous weekend in Seattle, so we will have a TruFusion Sports Derek Kelley check-in, along with Scotty. Garrett Marchbanks is going to be on tonight.
Yep.
Matt Bisceglia, haven't talked to him in a couple years.
Yeah.
And I like Matty B. He's been doing some training some kids out at south of the border. We're going to get him on. As I said, Derek Kelley. And then Chance Blackburn is going to come on. Privateer, first time on the show. Sure you guys watched Seattle, and we saw another MMA-style fight on the track in the...
I called it an incident. An incident on our description for the show tonight.
Yeah, and the 250 LCQ, Chance Blackburn and Max Sanford went at it, and Chance actually uses Williams Motor Works for his engines, and Jesse Williams reached out. He's like, hey, man, you want to get Chance on? Let's do it. We'll talk about it. Just so happens that Chance originally had Chance scheduled for the last guest of the night, but he's buddies with Garrett and Marchbanks, and they were texting earlier while I was texting Chance. They kind of want to come on at the same time. So we're going to work that in. Garrett's going to come on for a little bit. We'll get Chance on. We'll talk about different things. Then we'll talk to Chance a little bit one-on-one, and then we'll get to the other guys. So, yeah, what's up, Scotty? What did you think of Seattle?
Man, it was pretty cool. The biggest things that stood out to me was like
Keep talking for a minute. I got a text.
it was so I saw Tomac, like just the way he was icing those lines, like I really thought that he was going to blow out his back wheel, like on that little triple thing coming into that off-camber corner, kind of like that was an angle at the end of they'd come back across the start straight kind of angle and then jump in, and a lot of them were doubling and then hitting like that inside rut that had like a little off-camber to it, but he was tripling into it and then just kind of like bouncing off the wall and like jumping back out. Like he was just doing things that I haven't seen him like just be that, not just smooth, because he's been smooth all year, but just to be that smooth and that like aggressive and dominant at the same time. It was impressive to watch. He waxed everybody. I think everybody else is kind of waving the white flag. Jason Anderson needed just kind of like a week where everything just kind of was normal and he didn't have any kind of crazy drama. I think he'll take second all day in that scenario. There's some stuff happened behind him, but for the most part, it was what stood out to me was Tomac's dominance for sure.
Yeah, I was a little bummed on that. Very impressed, but bummed because the gap between him and Jason was huge, and like he is now just on a different level. And I kind of feel like the season, like the series is over. I feel that way, and that sucks. I don't want it to be.
I mean, technically, it ain't over until it's over. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's 5 races. If he something happens and he's injured for 2 weeks, I mean, it's back into it. You know, so there's no telling. Like, it does seem like it's his to lose for sure. It's been like that though. So
yeah, it's a bummer because I wanted that like. There's still a chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, there sort of is, but it's a ridiculously slim chance.
So in my head,
let's get TJ on and talk about this a little more. Cool. Let's hold tight. So everybody just no, go ahead. Say what you're saying while I call TJ. In your head. In my head,
I'm looking forward to the 2 light shootouts between Jet and Craig. And I think Hunter and Marchbanks will kind of be in that as well. So it'd be kind of cool to see those 4 guys duke it out a couple of times, as well as the LCQ race in Denver is going to be awesome. Other than that, I'm ready for outdoors.
I'm not ready for that yet. I still I want to see Cooper get a win, hopefully get a win. I'd like to see Mookie get a win. So I'm not quite ready for outdoors yet.
What would you have a scale here, and it's got percentages on it. You got Cooper getting a win on this side and Mookie getting a win on this side. What's your percentages?
I'm going to go 60-40 Cooper's favor.
Wow.
Yeah, Cooper gets a win in Atlanta.
I would say more like 70-30 Mookie.
Ooh,
I think Mookie's speed.
You're more on the Mookie side, huh?
I think this speed going off of this year alone, yes.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we got TJ on the line. Let's see if he's there. TJ Smith, are you there?
What's up, man?
What's going on? Hang on, you're a little low. What are you doing, man? Why aren't you in studio ever?
Because I gotta make a living. I got racing to pay for.
Yeah, I'm sure that bill's been high lately.
Yeah, right.
Actually, like he's been at home, so I can't really complain about it. It's been cheaper.
Yeah, I tried to get him in studio again tonight, but he said he had too many things going on, which probably means like playing Call of Duty or some shit.
No, actually, I think he was actually working and he was helping my mom do some stuff. He's like a good kid, so.
Yeah, I know. Hey, so before we get to our first guest, I want to get you on a little bit. I think you were on the line when we were talking. Did you hear our little discussion just a second ago? All right, so where do you fall?
I did.
Where do you fall on? Are you ready for outdoors? And then also answer Scotty's question there on Mookie versus Cooper win percentage.
I'm not ready for outdoors. I like Supercross better. And then I 100% believe that Mookie has a better chance of getting a win than Webb, but not anything to do with more than Webb's just injured and not himself and that kind of stuff. The one thing that will help Webb is he's now back with Alden, so he's riding with Mookie, and that intensity is going to get picked up, I feel like.
Yeah, I just heard about that. How did that happen?
Because basically things weren't working the way that they wanted them to, from what I heard, and they basically just said, okay, look, it's not working. You need to come back into Alden's. So
it was from KTM. Like they've kind of
Pretty much.
ultimatumed him.
Yeah, it sounds.
I don't know. I don't think it was an ultimatum, but it was like they said, okay, go ahead, try your program. If it works, great. But if it goes off the rails, we need you back on our program. And it wasn't going great. Now, was it the program's fault? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's more bike stuff that he's trying to figure out personally.
I think it's bike stuff, and I mean, Webb's never. I don't know. I think it's just Webb and bike stuff.
Wait, did he actually answer the question though? Did he put a
Who?
percentage on him or on?
He said 100% Mookie
Oh, okay.
over
Yeah.
Cooper, so I think he's basically saying Cooper has no chance of getting a win.
Yeah. Okay,
and
got
Cooper
you.
does, and
I didn't catch that part. Sorry, I was commenting people.
I will
I was
say.
doing your job, TJ.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey,
I will.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead. No, finish
No,
your.
I was just gonna say, like, it's not. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe he got a win. But there's no way I would put any money on him getting a win.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And we know how you are with money, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we only have like 10 minutes before we get to our show that you're not here for. But a couple things I want to touch on with you. So we have a new segment. I haven't told Scotty this either yet. I had a listener reach out on Instagram, and his Instagram handle is @D, the letter D, _ Brancato320. I hope I said that right. He didn't have a real name attached to his account. But he has a really cool idea, I think, for a segment that we could do pretty much like the blood lubricants cross-rutted whenever we feel like.
Yeah.
And it is the R Jerky Beef of the Week. So, like this
Beef of the
week,
week.
we could talk about Chance Blackburn and Max Sanford. Or we could have talked about Jason Anderson and Barsha. Or we could talk about how, whatever our beef is. It could be. It's kind of like the Race Tech Rant. It could be almost anything, in my opinion.
Beef of the week may be the best. If he actually came up with that,
He did,
we need
well-
to get him some R jerky.
Oh, I already handled it.
Okay.
I talked to RJ. RJ said no problem. Then I found out this guy lives in Canada, which becomes a problem. But we'll figure it out. So
We got to figure it out. We can give him basically what do you call it? Like a gift card for him or whatever we got to
dude,
do.
I'm gonna have to ship it to like whatever the closest U.S. town is, and like to a P.O. box. Like, go figure it out.
Yeah.
Or we'll ship it to 7-Eleven
Yeah,
across
I'm about
the,
to say,
across
it's
the
at a
border.
gas station.
Or a hotel. We
Beef
can
of
send it
the
to a
week.
hotel.
I love it.
But anyway,
I love
that was a
beef of the week.
great
That's
idea.
amazing.
So I thought you would dig that. So and tonight, the beef of the week, Chance Blackburn is coming on to talk about his incident with Max Sanford. He also, I don't think you heard any of this. He uses Williams Motorworks. That's where this connection came from. So we're
Awesome.
we're gonna have Chance on. We'll talk about that. But before we let you go, what did you think of the races?
The races are good, man. I mean, they have been. I want to say that, they're Seattle on the TV show. I don't know how it was being there, obviously, because it was kind of, but They have got to do something about slowing these tracks down.
Yeah, that's been a hot topic. What did you call in about last night on Pulp? You called in.
I called in because Steve's all excited about how they're giving him a race. And I 100% believe the only reason why they gave him a race, somebody somewhere goes, you better give this guy 6 minutes or he is going to turn LCQ into a murder.
Yeah, that actually was not a bad topic. That's one of the better. I hate giving you props. It really hurts my heart a lot, but that was actually pretty good. When you call in, I'm like, oh, God, what dumb shit is he going to say?
You never know with TJ. It's either going to be like, you're going to like change your whole like life perspective about it, or you're going to be like, this guy, why did he just say that in front of all these people?
I felt like that couldn't have been your idea.
No, it was 100% my idea, but I also was going to do another one, but I was at work, so I had to get off the phone.
Yeah.
So tell me how dumb this is. I think that the industry is not nothing against him, but I think they're giving Tomac too much props.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. So they're putting him, yes, his wins are a lot, but they're putting him on the same pedestal as Ricky, as Stewart, as Reed. Yes, his win number is high, but if you look at his win number versus how many times he was actually in the series and not injured, because he has a history of not being injured, finishing Supercross seasons and all this kind of stuff, yet he only has one, and he's about to get another championship. So you take the amount of time he was there, he was always there till the end and has so few championships. I think he is substantially under a lot of the past champions, even from getting down into the 90s and stuff like that. Just
because he didn't win as many championships per seasons, right?
Per season. And because he had so many wins, but so few championships. Is there anybody else who has that many? I mean, he's got to be the pinnacle.
He'll have the same amount of Supercross championships as Stu and more outdoor titles.
And how many?
More seasons healthy.
Not that much.
Oh, yeah. Stu didn't make it into his like 30s, did he?
No.
Close. I mean, he was like 28, 29. He took a little bit of a gap.
Like that, so I don't know. It's not a bad thought. Like, it's not a bad discussion. But 10 years from now, nobody gives a shit about that. They're going to say, this is how many championships he won. He was able to stay healthy and stay at the top of the game longer than those other guys. You know, so, I mean, I think he's the credit they're giving him is warranted.
My response to that would be, how do you then if that's your point, then how do you explain Ryan Dungey?
Dungey has like 4 Supercross championships.
I mean, Tomac's got 4, almost 5 outdoor championships.
But we're not talking about outdoor. We're putting them on the same pedestal with Supercross.
Wins is big, and championships. I mean, it's the win. You're right. Like, if you race, so one guy races 100 races, and another guy races 10, and the guy that races 10 races won all 10 races, never got beat, and then the guy that won 100 races wins 20 races of the 100. You kind of go, well, the other guy was 100% win percentage. I see where you're coming from, but also Eli was able to race 100 races without quitting, retiring, or being hurt, and you got to give him some credit for that.
Oh, I do. That's what I want to say. I want to not take away from Eli, but I also don't want to give him, like, take away from the guys who did, in my opinion, like, have a better track record and a better career than him. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, I'm not moving him down, but I want them to stop moving him above other guys, Carmichael, Dungey, Villapoto, you know, all those guys, Stewart, Reed. I mean, those guys are and should be, even go back to, you know, like past older McGrath. All these guys are so far ahead of him, in my opinion.
All right. Well, we got to go. We got Garrett Marchbanks waiting. See ya.
All right, later.
DJ TJ, everybody. Got a few minutes with the idiot.
Oh. Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
My favorite idiot. All right, we'll be right back with Garrett Marchbanks.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hit record, do an intro for you.
All right.
All right, we are back with our first guest of the night, who is brought to you by Torque One Racing, which is a Texas-based company that is providing high-quality, economical performance parts. Check out TorqueOneRacing.com. to see their complete line of products, including the Attack handlebars, the Defy lock-on grips, and the Vengeance levers. Let them know the Moto X Pod Show is your show of choice. Tonight, Torque One Racing brings us from Club MX, Garrett Marchbanks. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Not a lot, man. It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to talk to you on the show. You've been riding 250s, 450s. You just got back on the 250 this week. How do you feel about your season so far as a whole? I know it's not where you want it to be, but I feel like you've had some really good rides that you could, keep building off of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first round of the season was a pretty solid one for me. Was right there on the podium position and barely missed it. But, yeah, we just had our ups and downs. I mean, got really sick after A1, was dealing with that. And, yeah, just kind of dealt with some stuff at, San Diego and A2. But besides that, yeah, I had some solid rides. And, yeah, this weekend was pretty good. We changed some stuff with suspension and made a big improvement. I mean, my qualifying was a lot better and struggled in the heat race in the main. Just wasn't really quite feeling snappy. And didn't quite get off to the best main event start. But, yeah, just made some good changes, though.
Yeah, is it easy for you, it's kind of an individual thing, I would think, to go from a 450 back to a 250, to go back and forth? Like, it takes a minute, I would think, to adjust to the difference in power and how the bike performs. Or are you pretty comfortable with it?
I've been doing that for the past 2 years now, so it's pretty easy for me to bounce back and forth.
Yeah, if you had your choice, would you just go 450 full time?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I still personally feel like I can win races, if not for sure win a title in the lights class in Supercross. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I can keep staying down there for a couple of years.
I like that, man. I would like the hunger, still want that championship. That's a big deal, man. I do think you're fully capable. I mean, we see your speed, and just like you said, there's been a few little things here and there, whether it be a bike problem here and there, things that you really, a lot of times, are out of your control.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been like that the past year and a half. I mean, what can you do? I just try to make the best of it, and just try to make the best of it.
Right on.
All right, Garrett. So you're with the Club MX team. I got a chance to meet some of the guys there with the couple races we did. I like the vibe over there. So there's a lot going on. You got Alex, you got Phil, you got y'all's place has sick tracks, cool different dynamics, outside sponsors. I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on that team and kind of what the secret to the success has been for that Club MX team.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome environment here. You got Alex, Phil, Enzo, Jace Owen. We've been all around. Actually, I haven't been riding with them too much this year just because I was on the West Coast. We stayed out there the whole time. But the couple weeks I have ridden with them, it's been pretty fun, chasing them around. They've chased me around. And, Jace and Phil are really good dudes to learn off of. And honestly, all of them, we all help each other and try to improve each other anywhere we can find it. But yeah, no, the different variety of tracks. Also, we have, 3 Supercross tracks and a couple outdoor tracks. We actually just started outdoor testing today. Me, Enzo, Phil, and Alex. And no, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like that privateer. I don't know how. It's hard to even label these teams anymore, but not a full factory team, right? And every year, Brandon's made improvements. Tried to improve the bikes, tried to improve the options, whether it's sponsor options, parts. Brought in Mike, who we've kind of become to know a little bit, and just like he really is building a top-notch program. It's gotten to a level, even guys like Dominic Thury, just young kids coming in. Like, there's so many, what's the word I'm looking for? Just so many positives to ride out of that team. And even though Phil may have a bad attitude sometimes, he's a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah, Phil definitely helped me out a lot last year, and this year he's been helping me out. And honestly, me and Phil are pretty close.
That's
I like
cool.
working with Phil. I like working with Alex and Jason. I mean, honestly, all of them are really cool to hang out with and help, and they've definitely helped me out a lot on and off the bike. And No, just team-wise, Brandon's been building the team a lot, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool this past year and a half watching how much it's grown.
What do you feel like has been the biggest improvement in your 5 years as a pro, or something that you've learned that really is like kind of has changed the way you do things? Is there anything that just stands out?
Trying to think.
When you first came in, right, as an amateur, like you're one of the top kids in the amateurs, but it's the pros are so different, right? Like a lot of guys talk about the intensity, building that intensity that every rider on the line has for the entire moto or heat or whatever series you're in. Like the intensity is a lot different, and a lot of guys are not prepared or not aware of how intense all the pros are. That's a big one I hear a lot. But is there anything that you've just learned in the 5 years? And that may be it.
Yeah, honestly, when I first came into the pros, those top 5 guys were definitely pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was 16, when I went pro. And, I mean, I feel like I had the pace. I remember, I think it was Hangtown was the opener. And, man, I thought I was flying in practice. I was like, man, where am I at? Where am I at? And I think I was like P14 or 12. And I was like, man,
oops,
I kind of suck right now. And it was pretty wild. And just to see how fast those guys are, and especially in Supercross outdoors. I mean, as the races went on my rookie year, I feel like I was able to kind of find that sprint speed and find where I was kind of at, starting to slowly creep up in the top 5, and had some injuries. And Supercross was definitely the one I think was an eye-opener. The sprint speed, usually in outdoors, everyone kind of sets in a pace and you kind of just moto down. And Supercross, it's just the intensity is the whole time. It's basically until someone, breaks, just can't do it no more. And those top 3 guys are definitely the ones that kind of go the distance. And it's not like the amateurs anymore where you could find 1 or 2 guys that sprint the whole time, and not the whole time, but say if we're doing 15, they fall off at 10 minutes and they drop 5 seconds. You don't find that in the pro class anymore. It's everyone's within, maybe drops a second, and that sets them from first to 6th at the end of the race. So
yeah,
it's definitely gnarly, and I definitely say the pace is pretty gnarly from the amateurs to the pros.
Right on.
All right, so at Daytona, you rode the 450, and they were kind of making you one of the main storylines of the evening. And for a race of that caliber, that's pretty cool. Did it kind of surprise you of how much media coverage they were giving you, and then kind of how you dealt with that, and also did any kind of more sponsorship opportunities come up after that because of the coverage that you got?
Honestly, I really didn't know. I was just kind of doing it for fun. I didn't think I was, get that much TV time or publicity off of it. And it seemed like since Friday that when we got in for press, it was just the cameras were around me and people were asking me questions and stuff. And it was honestly pretty cool to see that. Obviously, the result there wasn't what we wanted, but honestly, sponsor-wise, I have no idea. I didn't gain any personal sponsors from it. I don't know if the team did. That's kind of out of my reach, but definitely fan base wise and just people to me, I definitely know it grew that way from that race.
Yeah, you said you were doing it just kind of for fun, which you were real close to a top 10. Had you not had, I think you ran out of tear-offs, is what I heard, and had to go in for goggles. But what did you have a goal, like a top 10? Was that a goal, or was it really just to ride, have fun, and keep the race pace? Because man, I know that's really good for guys that go to the 450 on the other coast, because you keep that intensity up. So when it's time to go back west, you're ready to go.
Yeah, honestly, I know the team didn't have any goals for me to be at, but me, honestly, I'm a super competitive guy. So I said top 5. They said, back it down a little bit. So we kind of were like, all right, we'll do top 10. And me personally, I feel like I could have definitely been in the top 7 if I had more seat time on the bike. We only had about 5 days on it. And just being out there in that main, I remember coming through, and I think I was 9th or 10th, and there was definitely a couple guys in front of me I felt like personally I was going to get. And next thing I know, I had no more tear-offs, ditched the goggles for a couple laps, thought I could maybe run with it, and got blasted by Bogle, I think it was, in the sand. I was like, all right, this ain't going to work. I'm not going to risk my eyes for 450 race. So
Right, yeah.
made a quick pit stop and, lost a couple spots. And, sitting there for 15, 20 seconds trying to put goggles on, you lose a lot of time and spots. So,
Sure.
yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
Daytona's not the supercross track you want to go without goggles. Like, you might be able to do it at Anaheim, because it's a little dry or whatever, but not Daytona.
Yeah.
You mentioned all the media, or actually Scotty asked you, and then you talked about all the media being there. I've been talking to you, man, I think the first time I talked to you, you were still in amateurs, if I'm not mistaken, at Freestone. But, like, you seem kind of like a quiet guy. Like, you like to keep to yourself. And I may be wrong about that. You can tell me. But do you like doing new podcast interviews? Is that something you're comfortable with? Or, some guys just aren't into it?
I honestly love it.
Okay,
I
cool.
don't mind going on there, doing them. I think a lot of people think I'm a quiet guy. I mean, I think it's just how I am at the races.
Yeah.
I'm just super serious, doing my own thing. And but no, honestly, like the TV stuff, interviews, anything like that, I love doing it. I just think people think of the wrong idea of me of being a guy that hates it.
Yeah, there's a couple guys like that, like Brandon Hartraff I've talked to, and a couple other guys that are just sort of quiet. Brees was that way too a little bit, but they like doing them. But you just kind of have to, get in there and get to know them a little bit, right? I guess, and that, yeah, you do have that, you do sort of have, you come off as like a guy that is quiet, like you said. So yeah, I guess we just got to get to know you a little bit more. We need to get you on here more then.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely down.
Scott's got one more, and then we're gonna get your buddy Chance Blackburn on.
All right, we got one
All
from
right.
one of our YouTube listeners. They wanted to know, so since you left Pro Circuit and then Club gave you the kind of another opportunity, and then you've had some success with that. Are you kind of with Club until maybe you move up, or is there another factory team that you would want to ride for?
Honestly, that's kind of a hard one to say.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely don't know what the future holds. So, we'll just see what it does. I don't know. That one's kind of a difficult one to answer.
I got you.
Yeah.
I was just going to
he probably can't. He's under contract.
Yeah, I know.
With Club, and he's friends with those guys. He's been there a long time.
I'm a voice of the people.
Trying to put him in a bad position there, Scotty.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. I'm just reading
look, if Honda came at him with, hey, we're going to give you $2 million a year to come ride for us, I think Garrett would be like, hey, Brandon, dude, I got to go, bro. But yeah.
I mean, I get it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just reading the questions.
Well, Garrett, we're about to get your boy Chance Blackburn on, and we're going to talk to him. I've never talked to Chance, so this is going to be cool. And I just found out earlier today while texting him that you guys were buddies. You actually happened to be talking while I was texting him. Before we get him in here, how do you know Chance? Give me a story on him that maybe we can bust his balls about. You got anything?
Honestly, I met him here at Club MX last year when I first got here. I think he showed up about a month after I was here.
Yeah.
We're just we were training partners for a little bit. We just kind of started hitting it off at the gym the one day, just kind of talking. And then after that, we just became super cool. He's kind of, not saying I'm a hothead, but he kind of is too. Obviously, everyone's seen that over the weekend.
We may get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah, so we both kind of have our short fuses, and I've seen his while training, and he's seen mine for sure. So I know it's just kind of, we just kind of hit it off, and he's a good dude, means well, and yeah.
All right, well, I think he's on the line. Let's check this out. Chance Blackburn, you there?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, AJE Motorsports, Chance Blackburn. Nice meeting you, man. I've never had a chance to actually talk to you.
Hey, nice meeting you too, man. Yeah, I'm on my own now, just running my own thing. But,
okay.
Yeah, I was on AJE for a few rounds.
I got you. Okay, cool. Well, so I'm sure you heard Garrett kind of talking about how you guys met. What was your first impression of Garrett?
I thought Garrett was super cool. I've told everyone, I was like, I've had people back home, they're like, after the whole McAdoo thing, they're like, oh, Marchbanks. And I was like, dude, if you knew Garrett, you'd love him. I mean, he's just real. There's so many of those guys that are just fake prima donnas, and Garrett's about as real as it can get.
Yeah. Hey, before we go any further, I want to mention that Chance is brought in by Racetech. He is the Racetech Privateer Spotlight tonight. Yeah, so Garrett, you talked about you guys both being a little bit of hotheads. Chance, we're going to start off, man, with the story of the week. Garrett, what's your take on the fight, the
incident,
the incident with Max Sanford? I mean, look, I had a rant like a week or two ago on the McAdoo pass and the Barsha pass on Jason Anderson. I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't mind when you guys block pass and bump elbows, but man, when you're pointed the wrong freaking direction in a turn, I get a little hot-headed. I just don't like it, Garrett. I'm not into it. I did not like Max's attempt at that wasn't even an attempt at a pass. That was like, I'm just going to torpedo you for no reason. We're not even like in fighting for qualifying to make it into the heat. But what was your thoughts though, Garrett, on Chance's reaction?
We were trying to tell the story without laughing, but I was sitting in the rig watching LCQ. I was obviously pulling for him to make his first main, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, come on, man, you got this. And all of a sudden, you just see this Honda come flying across the track, clean him out. And I'm like, oh, no. Next thing you know, I was like, oh, what's he going to do? And I was like, I already knew he was pissed. I was like, what's he going to do? All I see is him grabbing him, kind of grabbing him pretty good. And I'm like, oh, boy, is he going to go full pike on him? And
he did.
He didn't land any punches. I was kind of bummed. I was like, man, at least maybe I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit more, but he kept it pretty clean.
Yeah, I guess.
What's that, Chance?
I said that's what I thought. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Chance, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know you, so the only thing I didn't like was you stomping on his bike. I did not like that. I understand how angry you were. I totally understand, but I didn't like that move.
Yeah, that's the only part I watched back, and I'm kind of like, damn it. I mean, he went to pick his bike up, and I was like, I don't know. I was just trying to kind of own him the whole time, I guess. I was really pissed off. Yeah,
I mean, dude, I'm old now, but when I was younger, I've been in some moments where I lose my temper at something, and nothing I'm doing is rational. And you look back and you go, God, I look like an idiot, or whatever. So I get it. But have you and Max talked? Was there any apologies, or are you still like, this is not over yet?
No, dude. I mean, it's over for me. I feel like I kind of, I don't know. I let him know how I felt, and that was good enough for me. People are like, you just in the pits. I was like, no, dude. I don't think after what happened, he wanted to see me in the pits. I didn't see him after that, so I was done with it. I was over it. But I was I was pretty fired up, and I mean, I really don't think it was that bad. Like, I know you're not supposed to do anything to anybody else, but it definitely could have been a lot worse. So I thought it went all right.
Yeah, honestly, as fast as he came in on you, like he could, if the angles had been a little different, he could have really, really hurt you.
Yeah, that's why I was pretty bummed. I mean, I kind of was just starting to look up at the double, and then just boom, I got lit up. I mean, there was graded out marks in my front fender, and I was like, dude, he got in deep,
Yeah.
Yeah. From my perspective, watching it's I would compare his move to that of kind of like a sucker punch. Like, you had no idea he was coming, and so my question was, is the fact that
I was gonna say the Will Smith thing, but Chris Rock saw it coming.
What a weekend,
Yeah.
But anyway, so does the fact that it was kind of such an unexpected, I'm air quoting, sucker punch, does that kind of make you go over the edge more and want to retaliate in that way, like maybe more than you normally would have in a confrontation, as far as a turn would go?
Right. Yeah. I mean, dude, you can block past me or hit me whenever, and I mean, I get it, it's racing, but that was just flat out dirty. So I was pretty, I was pretty mad, and he could have hurt me, but I don't know. Luckily, I made it granted, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I'd love to know his thought process. Like, what was he gonna do?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I was in sixth, and I was pumped because I was, I could see fifth and fourth right there. So I was like, all right. Into it. People are like, oh, why'd you get so mad? I'm like, dude, when you're in race mode, I mean, I know when I'm in race mode and you're competitive and stuff, it's just one mode for me. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I also need to mention For you two, you guys don't know, but the Wageman Brothers Jerky Company, Our Jerky, is a sponsor of our show. And this is the first week officially of the Our Jerky Beef of the Week segment. So this is the Beef of the Week is Chance and Max Sanford. So this is our first one. Thanks to the boys, RJ and Robbie over at Our Jerky. But Garrett, man, have you ever tried their jerky, dude? You probably don't eat that shit because you're a beast.
No, I haven't had it, but I'll have to give it a try or something.
Yeah, I need to get the Wageman Brothers and hook you boys up. That's the best jerky on the planet. But Garrett, man, before we let you go, I do want to talk about Day in the Dirt, man. That thing looked like an awesome event. Everybody I've talked to had a blast. How was that for you?
Dude, it was a lot of fun, honestly, just going out, enjoying my bike, and just riding some different stuff, riding the asphalt on the roads, and just some tree sections and the moto track. It was different, and it was definitely fun. Haven't done that stuff since I was an amateur rider, so yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Just the vibe, being around all those guys and doing team races. It was a lot of fun.
Did you happen to go through the barn and Randy Richardson make you do a burnout? I don't. He did that for a lot of guys. I don't know if he did it for everybody.
Yeah, he tried to do it to me, but I only brought one tire with me, which was on the bike. So I was like, I'm not doing it. He's like, you got to burn out. I was like, no, it's my only tire. I don't want to ruin it.
He would have hooked you up, man. He's with Michelin. He just got you a Starcross 5. You'd have been good to go.
No, I run Pirelli, man.
I know.
Well, that was kind of my question. Was what I asked Zach Osborne this last week. I was like, "What was your favorite Randy Richardson moment?" And maybe that was it.
Yeah, Randy's a nut if you don't know him.
I was gonna say, what was from the Day in the Dirt? What was your favorite Randy Richardson moment? But it kind of sounds like that was it.
Oh yeah, that one and us lining up on the gate for our first moto on Saturday. He was sitting there. We're lined up next to each other, and he's like, "Can you imagine if you hole shot me or if I hole shot you?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. That'd be pretty tough." And we're sitting there. I'm all stretching out, and I freaking missed my gear and couldn't get my bike in gear. And he freaking hole shot me. I was like, "Oh my god,
that's so great!"
He just did that. Yeah,
he's the best, man. He was on Pulp last night, and he's pretty funny. He was in studio the whole night, and you guys, I'm sure, have no idea, but Mathis and I had this deal a couple weeks ago in Minneapolis where they cut my ponytail off. I traded my ponytail for a 2022 YZ250.
Oh, I heard about that. That's sick.
So we did that live on stage, and then Chris Kiefer had this case. It's a coffin case built with lights, and he kept my ponytail in it. It's fucking weird, I know. But it was in Pulp's studio, so Randy took it last night on the town in Vegas. Like, took it down on the strip, took it to a concert, put it on the... Like, there's all these weird things on Randy's Instagram stories with my ponytail, like, literally all over Vegas. It's so fucking weird. But it's hard not to laugh because Randy's just a nut job. I don't know. He's awesome. Anyway,
that's funny.
Garrett, I guess we're going to let you go. We're going to talk to Chance a little bit, get to know him. We probably could have spent some more time with you, but I really appreciate you coming on. Look forward to seeing you back in West. We got this weekend coming up's off, and then the shootout, right? Or the showdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a shootout. Is it St. Louis or Atlanta?
Atlanta, yeah. Atlanta shootout's coming up, man.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be good. We're going to see you out there, the man-child moto out there, maybe put Jen on the ground, put Christian on the ground, and just
come on. I'm not like that.
Take the win.
Probation, so I can't be doing no Chance Blackburn stuff. So.
Right. Fair enough, Garrett. Man, hey, I appreciate you coming on. This has been fun, dude.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Bye.
see ya. All right, thanks to Garrett for coming on. Garrett Marchbanks. He's also brought to you by X Brand Goggles. All right, Chance. So I want to get to know you a little bit, man. The only thing I really know about you, and this is not fair, is what happened this weekend. I didn't know a lot about your background, man. Give us a little bit of your background. You grew up in Washington, I believe. What's your history with moto? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, I grew up in Washington, over by Olympia, a town called Rochester, and my older cousin raced, and he raced like the C class or whatever. It was all just local stuff, and yeah, it just started out as a family thing. My dad got me a bike, and he had a bike too, so we just started, going to the races on the weekends, and it just kind of grew, and then we started just doing one national a year for a few years, and then we just started clicking more off and stuff, but yeah, I went to public school all the way through. I played football since 4th grade all through senior year, and I wrestled since I was 5 all through senior year too. But yeah, my dad wanted me to stay in sports and stuff because I would beg him to be homeschooled because I was just watching all my buddies take off, you know.
Yeah.
But he was of all the time after high school, so I'm glad I finished it. It was school sports were fun.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I mean, I think you learn a lot playing team sports in high school. I think there's a lot of character building characteristics that come from playing team sports that can be really important for somebody. So I'm glad you got that experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Cool, man.
All right, so kind of going into a little bit of the racing. So when the LCQ, it's kind of like a gladiator kind of thing. Like it's a last man
into that. That's for sure.
It's a last man standing, pressure filled thing. So I kind of wanted you to just go like how tough it actually is to perform like what you're capable of doing under that kind of pressure in that spotlight, and kind of how do you prepare to work under that kind of that pressure.
Yeah, I don't. When I get on the gate for the LCQ, I just know, obviously that's the last chance. You got to go. I mean, I just try to get as amped up as possible, and it's going to be chaotic out there, so you got to just kind of hang in it, shoot your windows that you see and your gaps and stuff, and try to get through people quick if you don't get a good start. But yeah, it's chaos out there, so you got to just try to stay in it, stay in race mode.
Yeah. Are you doing the whole West Coast series? Have you made all the races?
Yeah, I'm doing the whole West Coast, but Seattle was maybe going to be my last one just because I'm funding it all on my own. So I was getting pretty low on money. So I actually came home like a week after A3 and was just kind of riding around home and stuff. And so I was going to start hitting like PRO. The PRO series is up here. It pays out really good.
Okay.
Yeah, just start hitting some money races and kind of save up for next year so I can go blow it all again.
So what I assume then do you have like a day job or anything that you do during the week to earn some money?
I train kids back home actually quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Blackburn MX school, right?
Yeah. But other than that, I have a really good sponsor that helps me out. My dad had helped start a pipeline inspection company like a year before he passed away, and they really took off. So they've just been helping me out after everything. It's been really cool, enough to keep me going.
Right on, man. Good for you, Scotty.
Yeah.
Do you have another one?
Yes. So we had a listener that wanted you to compare your football and wrestling difficulty-wise to Supercross and motocross.
Oh yeah. Wrestling was definitely tougher than football. That was arguably like my favorite sport. But wrestling, Supercross, there's nothing harder. I mean, I think it's the hardest sport, in the world, but it just takes so much focus and stuff. I mean, it's not like you go out, make a mistake and get pinned. If you make a mistake, you might, break something.
Yeah. It's dangerous, very cardio demanding, very mentally demanding, physically demanding, like everything that you could think. Like there's nothing easy about racing dirt bikes, really, especially at your level, right? At the highest level, like you can go out and have fun just like we do, Scotty.
Yeah.
Or me, like I'm way slower than you, Scotty, but like it's still dangerous. It's still a high heart rate. It's still physically demanding. I played football as a kid, I played basketball, all that stuff. And there's very difficult things in each of those sports. Football's draining. When you go into 2-a-days, it's exhausting, right. But it's not for 30 minutes solid, or it's a very motocross, supercross is highly elevated physically, mentally, all that stuff. So yeah, it's very underrated by people that don't understand it. Chance, I wanted to ask you about another situation that I heard about today. I'm kind of blindsiding you with this, but this is also we're sticking with the R Jerky beef of the week. Okay. And your aggression. Tell me about 2018 at Glen Helen with Mike Craig.
Yeah, that wasn't really my fault. I'd probably say.
Well, neither was
good answer.
Neither was Seattle.
I know, right? I just react, I guess. So I was out at Glen Helen getting ready for nationals, and we were getting ready for Glen Helen, and my buddy Jake Hogan, he used to race Supercross, but he stopped like 2 years ago. Something happened with him and Mike down on the track, and Jake, like, they were like I think Jake took him out or Mike took him out or something. They both went down. Jake said he went to get back on his bike, and Mike like ripped him off or something. Whatever. Jake came back and was all pissed off and telling me all about it. And he was like, I'm going to go find him. And he didn't know who it was. He just, knew it was some guy on a Honda or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I laughed because I didn't think anything, would happen. I didn't think, I don't know. I said, all right, have fun. And then he goes riding around, and like a couple minutes later, I stand up because we were up by the REM track. I stand up and I see Jake's head just on a swivel, looking around the pits, and I just laughed and sat back down. Well, Kyle Lewis was Jake's trainer, and he goes, all of a sudden he was like, Chance, Jake's fighting. You better get down there. And Jake let me live at his house for free for like the past 3 years that I would come down. He was like my freaking brother. And I was like, God, dude. And so I like hopped on my bike and rode it down there. And when I had looked and saw them, they were just, throwing blows. And when I got down there, I saw like 5 people, like kind of all standing in a circle. And I saw Jake underneath of him, like kind of on his hands and knees. And Craig was on top of him, and Jake's yelling, get off me. And I just ghosted my bike into the pit and just like ran over and kneed him in the ribs and then choked him out. And that was about it. But
yeah, I saw the video actually. Chris Gordon, your buddy Chris Gordon sent it to me.
Oh yeah, that's when everyone's like, "Oh, he was screaming like he was all jacked." Like I was laughing because I made eye contact with Chris, and his eyes were as big as saucers.
That's crazy, Chance. Crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Some people just get in fights. They find them.
He sees red, man. Go for it. Well, I did want to ask. So, what was there any repercussions at AMA? What did AMA say to you?
We haven't heard that. Yeah.
Did they? I mean, I was in the LCQ, so it's not like they could knock you out of the race or anything. So
hopefully they didn't find you. Jeez.
They DQ'd me, but the email was just a DQ, so I got lucky.
Yeah, you got DQ'd. Then he got something. He's on.
He got a.
Well, what's that?
He got a warning, I'm pretty sure, is what it said.
I think he's on probation too, or something. For what that's worth. I saw something.
He came
today.
in low, bro.
I said earlier I didn't see anything, but I forgot. I did see something on Instagram. I don't remember who I saw it posted from though. Maybe Kellen Brower. I can't remember. Yeah, man. So what's your plans for the rest of the season? Then are you going to try to? You said Seattle might be your last one, but are you going to try to do any others? Do you have, or because you kind of said you were financially it was kind of tough.
Yeah. What's the next one? Like Colorado, right?
Yeah, for West Coast, obviously the showdown in Atlanta, that's obviously not going to happen. That's way too far. Yeah, I think so. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but is Denver West, Scotty?
I would.
Yeah, I think it is. So, yeah. Denver's going to be coming up pretty soon. Yeah.
I'm thinking about that. It's not too far. So. Right,
that's a weird program too, because that's an early race. Qualifying is on Friday.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, that's the night of the Pulp MX Yamaha LCQ race.
That's like old. That's like a throwback, old school outdoor days.
A little bit, yeah. Well, and how about nationals? You got any plans for? You just gonna do some West Coast ones or what?
Yeah, I'll be on usually like during the summer. I just ride my 450, but I was trying to sell my Yamaha 450 the whole time I was gone, but no one bought it, so I'm just gonna race thing. I'm just gonna race that thing this summer, I think. And
this dude is a true privateer right here.
Yeah, and so I went from the KTM to the gas to the Yamaha. So I'll probably do Thunder Valley and then definitely Washougal.
Okay. Yeah, I saw I saw on your Instagram you were on a Yamaha 450 and then you jumped back on the gas.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
I really like that Yamaha 450, but the KTM on Supercross it's pretty nice. I really like that bike.
Hey, talk about, before we let you go, Jesse Williams Motorworks is one of our sponsors. How's his motor work, man? Does it pull like a never ending?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm super happy with Jesse. He's killing it, and
yeah,
it's really cool because he's like the only motor builder that'll actually be willing to help out privateers, because some companies will just freaking charge you out the ass because they can, But he's been awesome. So yeah, I'm pumped I found him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He offered to do some stuff on my YZ 250, and I'm like, I think I'm going to let him. But that bike, I mean, I'm slow, Chance. Like I said, I'm 46 or I don't even know how old I am anymore. I think I'm 46.
Stop.
About to be 47.
Yeah.
I kind of tried to stop counting. I'm pretty slow. So, like, I'm not going to be able to ride that bike to its full potential, but still, I mean, if he's going to.
So what he can do is, and I had a buddy that's a
slow it
slower.
down?
No, they makes it a lot like a usable power.
Yeah.
They kind of.
Can he make it like my 450
Yeah,
where
they
I don't
can.
have to have any talent to ride it?
I had a buddy that had a 250 and it rode like
Yeah.
a 450. It
'Cause-
lugged. It was nice.
Chance, with the 250 two-stroke, you got to have some talent, right? I mean, you have to be good in the corners. On a 450,
you got to
I
use
can
the
point
clutch
and shoot.
You got to learn how to use the clutch.
Yeah, I can't,
Oh yeah.
I can't do any of that. I mean, I've
Just-
been riding a 450
You
since
can't, do,
06.
you can't do this.
I don't even use my clutch hardly ever, unless
You better practice doing this. However, you
Man.
need to practice.
I don't know, Chance. It's gonna be ugly, dude. When I get on this 252 stroke, I'm sure it's gonna be really like they want me to do some videos, like with Kiefer. Do some videos for his when I first ride it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to speed it up like half speed.
Yeah, I would say like they're gonna cut you off on time allowance on.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad, dude. Anyway, Chance, man, it's really been cool getting to know you a little bit, man. I wish I had talked to you at some of the rounds we were at, and I just never had a chance to really meet you. But next time we're at a race together, I'll come find you.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stay in touch, and we'll do this again sometime. We'll do this once national start.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
All right, you too.
That's Chance Blackburn, everybody. Check him out on Instagram. I did not write his Instagram handle down, but it's something like Chancey B, or sounds like a rapper.
I tried. You have to follow him because it was. I tried to get on it earlier. It's private.
Oh, well, I followed him.
Well, you can follow him, but you can't just go search it and look. You got to follow him to see his stuff. Because I was trying to get a picture for this show.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Chance Blackburn, that was really cool. Let's take a commercial break. Again, though, I want to thank Torque One Racing for bringing on Garrett Marchbanks as well as X-Brand Goggles. And Race Tech Privateer Check-In was Chance Blackburn. And special thanks to Art Jerky for the Art Jerky Beef of the Week. We'll be right back with Matty B.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing real good. Hang tight. I'm going to hit record so we can intro you.
Yeah, cool.
All right. All right, boys. We are back from our second commercial break. I'm really excited about this next guest. It's been a long time since I've had a chance to talk to him, and that's on me for not reaching out. But he is brought to you by Works Connection. Since the inception of Works Connection in 1989, Eric Phipps's goal has been to produce Works-like products for the general public. With products like the industry standard Pro Launch Start Device, the Elite Clutch Perch, radiator braces, customized master cylinder covers, and much more. It's hard to imagine you not going to WorksConnection.com so you too can have what the pros use. And tonight, Works Connection brings us Matt Bisceglia. Matty B, dude, what is going on, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just enjoying my evening, talking to you guys. Happy to be on here. How are you?
I'm doing good. I really feel bad that it's been so long since I've reached out to you. I think it's probably been like 18 or 19 the last time I really talked to you.
Yeah, no, I seen it's been a while, man, but it's good to catch up, and better late than never, you know?
Yeah, man. It's just, I don't know. You get busy with everything going on, and I guess I don't know. That's on me. I totally apologize, but you've been really busy, right? Training since your last race was 2018, right?
2019, I actually did the first couple Supercrosses,
Okay.
and then shortly after that, I got my gig here at South of the Border, and we've been wide open ever since, man. Like you said, life gets busy, and it's been same here for me, man. So
that was with Hanny, right? The Hanny's team.
Yeah, so that was in 2018.
Oh, okay.
That was the last time I tried to race full-time Supercross, and then I was racing for Cycle Trader Yamaha in 2019, and then I hung up the boots and decided to get on the other side of the fence and coach.
Was that tough, man? I mean, I know you had a lot of injuries, and like, I can only you raced pro, I think 5 years, maybe 6 years, 5.5 years, if you, I guess 19.
Yeah.
Was that a tough decision, or at that point was it like, man, it's time?
So coming into that season, like, I definitely thought I was going to have more in me, but like my injuries were kind of low-key bothering me, like kind of worse than I let on.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It was just time, man. It was really tough. I'd had, like a year and a half of bad injuries to the same leg, like with hardware and everything. And it was just tough. It was time for me. I just wasn't in it mentally, like 100%. And Supercross is dangerous, man. It's really, really gnarly racing at that level. And I just, it was the right choice for me at the right time. I didn't feel like I was willing to like go get hurt and like break that leg specifically anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was just that time, man. And I had to be fair to myself, and if I wasn't going to be mentally 100% into it, like it was too dangerous for me, realistically to want to keep doing it,
Yeah, I can understand that, man. I know, like, you had a lot of good opportunities, obviously Geico, JGR, Cycle Trader, and tons of talent, right? And it just seems like there was always an injury, and that just happens sometimes. And I know, when you're coming off 5 national titles at Loretta's, like, that's not where you think your career is going to go. But now, working at south of the border, doing something that you seem to love doing and seem to be really good at, are you pretty happy with, like, your life has still been dirt bikes and racing and, pretty successful, really?
Yeah, no, it's obviously been really cool. I was lucky enough, like, to kind of get into this opportunity right after I quit racing. And I obviously love dirt bikes and, like, dirt bike racing. It's what I've done my whole life. And, it's been really cool to not have to live through the stresses of racing at that level anymore,
Sure.
but being able to be in it every day. And still get to go to the amateur races like Loretta Lynn's and Minio's and a couple of the others. We got to go to Daytona a couple weeks back, and yeah, it's fun. I still get my fair share of motocross for sure, but being on the other side of the fence is like something that I enjoy, and I'm lucky to be able to do it Monday through Friday. As a job, it's something I'm lucky to do. Not everybody's that lucky to be able to do that and be comfortable, and it's fun for me.
Do you ever throw your leg over? Do you line up at any, local races, or is it pretty much just training and no behind the gate stuff?
No, I don't ride very much anymore. Every once in a while, like once or twice a year, maybe once a year, I'll bust it out on the corner track and ride around with the boys. But yeah, not too much. I'm pretty busy. Like, my main priority is the kids. So if I was to go out and ride, like, I wouldn't have the energy for it, quite honestly. It's a full-time deal what we're doing right now. And we've had a good clientele, and we've had, quite a few people here. So it definitely keeps us busy.
So you're not going to follow in your dad, Don's footsteps then, huh? And just crush the vets all over the country?
Yeah, no, not as of right now. Who knows down the road.
He is a bad dude.
Yeah, no, he still rides quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's still good, man. All things considered, he still rips for sure.
He does, man. I mean, I don't know. I was never as fast as he was. So you see him come out to a local track, my buddy Michael Gage or whatever. And God, I don't know how old your dad is now, but like you said, he rips. It's impressive.
I've seen it personally a few times. It always, I'm like, you see him and you're like,
he doesn't look like he should be fast.
He doesn't even look like he's going that fast. And then you get behind him and you're like, where did he go?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's fun. It's deceiving, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So my question was kind of, I grew up in this area, and you were a couple years younger than me. I was always like, I'd be like in the 12 to 13, and you'd be the 9 to 11, and you'd always catch me by like the second or third lap. So, but I remember you always were winning. Your dad was always winning. Even your mom was winning the women's stuff. And I
don't think I knew that.
Yeah, no, his mom was fast, dude.
Wow. Yeah, she used to race back in the day.
Yeah, it sounds familiar now that you say it, but I had definitely forgotten it.
So you kind of you had a unique experience where you got to grow up with that family dynamic, all racing, and I just kind of wanted you to talk a little bit about that. And I know that you are about to start your own family. I saw your Instagram where
I was going to say congratulations.
Yeah,
on
congratulations. So now that you're starting your own family, kind of talk about that dynamic growing up, and then kind of some of the things you're looking forward to doing now that you're starting your own family.
Yeah, no, so definitely like my mom and dad were obviously like crazy about racing like their whole lives, and that's how they met. And so I was born into it, man. I definitely grew up with a mom and dad that kind of ripped on track, and so it was kind of natural to me. And when they noticed that I had a talent, it was something that they pursued with me. And it's pretty crazy though, racing and getting to that level of racing Supercross. It takes like psychotic commitment, man. It's crazy. So we definitely wouldn't have gotten that far, I don't think, if my mom and dad weren't fully into it as they were, but it's pretty crazy, having a kid now. Like I said, my wife's 7 months pregnant now, so she's due in the next couple of months. And honestly, if my kid wants to ride, it's not something that I can deny him. But I just want him to do what makes him happy. If he has other interests, whether that even be golf or whatever it might be, like I want to be able to have him pursue whatever he wants to do. I'm not like a one track. He has to race dirt bikes by any means. You know what I mean? Because, if you're going to take racing dirt bikes seriously, you go through some pretty crazy stuff, and you see some stuff that's, you know, it's hard unless you're going to commit full time and decide you're really going to want to do it. But, you know, it just depends. It's, you know, he's obviously not even here yet, so he's got years to decide what he wants to do. But
Dude,
I just want to do something. I want to do. Yeah, I know it's happening quick already, but I just want to do something too that we can enjoy together as father and son. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Whatever that be, because I do have other interests other than dirt bikes. It's you know, so whatever it might be.
I was really glad my son, like, he rode dirt bikes, I would say, for a few months, right? I think we went to Badlands to a night race, and, like, there was 3 people, so he got a trophy, and he was pretty stoked. But he was not into it. It wasn't his thing, and I was so glad because I could remember taking him to the practice track, and I want to ride. I'm so paranoid about him, especially knowing that he really didn't ride much and was inexperienced. I was like, God, man, I can't have fun. I can't really afford for both of us to go racing. And I was so glad that he was like, gnarly. Yeah, Dad, I'm not really into it. So I was like, thank God. So, yeah.
No, I could only imagine the anxiety, like watching your kid, you know, like what I put my parents through. You know, it's pretty crazy to think about, for sure.
Absolutely. Talk about the coaching job, though. You know, you talked about going to all these big races and being a coach, like the excitement, the fulfillment when one of your riders does well, and the disappointment when they don't do well. Like, you're living through them a little bit, I would assume, but kind of compare that to racing for yourself as a pro. Like, does it compare at all?
Yeah, in certain ways, like, you know, it definitely gets your blood flowing. Like, some of my kids, I've even gone up to the line with them in the past, you know. I went up, I took kids to the line that won Loretta's titles last year, and that was like, you know, it's you feel all the emotions as a coach too, you know, just grinding through it with them every day and just seeing exactly what it takes at that level. And you know, it's definitely fulfilling, but like I said, being on the other side of it, you know, obviously I can teach them right from wrong from my mistakes too, you know, because it's not like I did everything perfect. Obviously, like, especially my last couple of years amateur, I put myself in a good position to, like, get a ride and just be successful when I needed to be. But there was a lot of, you know, peaks and valleys before that. And, you know, like, not a lot of people, like, see that or know what people have to go through to get to that point where you're successful. And just, like, helping the kids, like, get through that point to that next level is something that's really fulfilling. Like, we have a couple kids right now, especially, that are going to be hopefully at that level within the next year or two. And it's definitely really cool, man. It's rewarding to see, you know, knowing that I can have a part in that and help them get where they want to be.
Good for you, man. I like it.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of my questions about being a coach. You know, so being mentally strong is mentally strong.
Mentally.
You heard that too, right, Maddie?
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Okay. Anyways, so being mentally strong, which is what I'm having to do right now, being mentally strong in this sport is such a factor now, even more than it's probably ever been. How do you, you know,
crazy.
and every single person's different. You know, everybody's psychological makeup is a completely different from one person to the next. So how do you kind of approach strengthening your riders mentally and maybe some of the challenges that you faced having to do so?
You know, it's tough because you obviously have to go about each kid in different ways. You know, you have to work with them differently depending on how they handle things. Like, some kids, you have to put a little bit of pressure on them to understand what the objective is. Some kids, you have to talk to them like an adult, and you just have to explain to them. So it varies, you know, how you have to get that out of them. But, you know, like I said too, like, I can teach them from my wrongs as well and what I've seen not work in the past. So that's something too that's obviously very helpful for them.
Yeah, something that just came to mind that I want to ask you, and this is my last question for you. I've talked about this in the past with other guys, like when we were talking about Eli Tomac, and when as media we're all like, what's wrong with him, you know? And the idea of being human sometimes is lost on us as media and as fans of professional athletes or even actors, anybody in the spotlight. And growing up, right, you're this elite amateur kid, 5 national titles, Horizon Award winner, so much pressure, so much expectation as a kid.
Yeah.
You get a pro ride, so much is expected of you. you're still becoming an adult, so much going on in life. And then as an adult, like I talked about, like with Eli, like we don't know what's going on in his life when he has a bad race. Like for me personally, if let's say I'm fighting with my wife when I was married, or my fiance now, or whatever, like that ruins my whole day. I can't go to work and concentrate. I can't do a show and concentrate. All I'm thinking is bad as that. Talk about like having to be an elite athlete and perform for the fans and the sponsors and the teams, but like I'm a human. I might be sick. My kid might be sick. My dad might be sick. My mom might, whatever. You know, like talk about like how you deal with that, and also like the reality of it. Like has it ever been a factor at a race where like something in real life is fucking with your head?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And that's tough because you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes and you don't know what they have to deal with. But like, I can promise you that every rider on that gate has their demons and their things that keep them up at night.
Yeah.
It's, but you know, sometimes you really just have to dig deep to get past that stuff, man. It's, it comes down to like you said, that mental edge. You know, that's a tough one.
Well,
so,
and I guess that's part of what builds a champion, probably somebody that can deal with that. Like me personally, I don't deal with that stuff well. I would never be able to be a champion. I mean, clearly, I don't want to perform the diet properly, and I can't perform mentally when stuff's going on.
It's a lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
Like you have to commit in every aspect to get to that level. You know, your sleep pattern, how much you eat, what you eat.
Right.
And like, it all can take a toll on you doing that for years. You know, you see guys only last certain years on certain programs like that. That commitment, like no matter like how hard it is day to day, like that grind does wear you out. And like I said, you know, you never know what's going on like in other people's lives. Like, you know, injuries people have to deal with. Like
that too. Yep.
I've had injuries and illnesses throughout my career that people like still do like hardly even know about to this day, and
that
it's
drives
like
me crazy, man.
Or
Be
like,
honest,
or
riders.
like certain
Tell us.
Or like certain years, man. Like injuries I was riding through, like in 2017, the last year I did nationals. Like after I broke my leg bad the first time, like how gnarly it was for me to be out there racing. Like people still don't know to this day. Like I wouldn't have been able to do another round after Ironman. Like I was not able to ride throughout the week. Like, but I was still like top 10. Like, you know, whole shotting almost every weekend. And like, that was still like one that stuck out to me. Like it was tough. Like, you know, you have family things going on and whatever it might be, but you still have to show up and perform, and whatever is going on in your personal life, like you have to put that aside. And, you know, I think that's a big part of whoever can do that best is like, you know, able to perform week in and week out.
Yeah, that's tough, Scotty, because you know as well as I do, right? Like you're in a relationship now, right? So like if you go, let's say, Scotty, you're planning on going playing golf this Saturday, and Friday night you get in a fight with your chick, and then you're like, well, I'm going to play golf. She's going to be like, really? You're going to leave and go play golf? We're fighting. You're going to just leave me and not deal with this? And then these guys might have a fight Saturday morning on the way to the track to go race Supercross, and their chicks are like, really? Really? You're going to go out there and race for all these fans? Really? You care more about them than you do me?
Yeah,
like, you can see that, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's tough, man.
Not saying that just chicks are crazy like that or whatever, but, like, you can see, like, those things happen, and these guys have to be, like he just said, block that out, and that's hard.
It's very hard. I agree.
All right, you had one more, Scotty.
Yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So now that you've kind of seen the sport from multiple perspectives, and I know rider, coach, many others, what do you kind of see with the sport is growing that you like, that is good, and maybe something that you would like to see improve or change?
Man, it's tough. Obviously, the sport changes even since I've been out of it. That's something like from the outside, even as a rider, like I've always seen how much the sport changes year after year. And like, you know, it's crazy. The pace that these guys are riding at the top level in Supercross is just wild right now. Like the bikes are putting out a lot of power. The tracks are getting beat. You see guys like destroying themselves in the whoops in main events every weekend. And, like you hear the argument of like big whoops, small whoops, you know, like, but I don't know. I think for the most part, like the promoters and the track workers, like they do a good job. And it looks like this year they've been doing a good job, like of prepping the tracks when needed. You know, I think the whoops break down really heavily. Like I'm all for like having huge whoops, like build them bigger than they are now by all means. But like, I think it would be beneficial if maybe they built them out of material that like held up a little bit more. I know like I had some feedback from some riders at Daytona, like Daytona, they use clay because obviously their normal dirt would not hold up.
Right.
And they were big whoops, but like they held up all night, and you've seen guys skimming them all night. And, maybe, I don't know, there's maybe a couple things here and there, but like it's a big job. And like, I think they're doing pretty good right now. It's obviously, injuries are going to happen, and that's down to the riders too. Like, you have to send it to win main events, and, to ride to that level, it's,
Yeah,
it's crazy. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, there's no holding back. Like they've kind of talked. Mathis has talked a little bit about like, well, will Eli back it down and play it safe if the wind's not there? And yeah, you can do that to some extent, right? But if you step off that razor's edge just a little bit, that's when things go bad.
I think that's what happened to Stewart so many times.
Yeah.
He would get a 20-second gap, he'd kind of space out a little bit, and boom, he's cartwheeling across the stadium.
One thing I will say is I think tough blocks are obsolete for Supercross in 2022. I think like some way, somehow we need to come up with a new idea for like the tough blocks. Cause I know obviously there's promotion for sponsors and everything. And that's like, you have to respect track boundaries, but tough blocks straight up are dangerous. You've seen it like all season this season, like people just
landing on them, catching
yards,
them. Yeah.
Dude, yard sailing. And I know as a rider, like you barely clip a tough block and like, you're in for a ride. It's not a good deal. And it's up to us, like, to stay within track boundaries, but it all ties together how gnarly the tracks are getting. They are taking care of them, in my opinion, better than they used to now that they're getting gnarlier. But, like, tough blocks, I think just, like, we need to, like, I think they need to come around that whole deal and come up with something new. And that's not an easy task. Maybe they could be in the works for that. But just like they came out with the nets, like, keep innovating safety standards in that way. Like right after they came out with the first nets, like one of them saved my ass, like in Atlanta one year. Like I broke one of the first nets, like I hit it so hard.
Oh wow, I don't remember that. That's okay.
Yeah, like last qualifying practice at Atlanta in 2018, I like came up short on this rhythm and like got whiskey and went over the berm. Like I would have been messed up, like if not for the net, and the net caught me and I just like fell to my back.
Yeah,
like,
I do remember that now. Yeah,
I was like, and the next practice was delayed like 20 minutes. It was a triple count, and I was like right on the edge of qualifying. I was like 16th or 17th, so I stayed out to watch to make sure nobody bumped me. And they were sitting there and people were pissed for like 20 minutes. They're fixing the net. And I was like, oh, sorry, guys. But yeah, like stuff like that. Like I would love to see a solution to tough blocks because like it's, they cause injuries from time to time. And it's something that can be avoidable. But yeah,
right. I think Scotty's got a listener question.
Yeah, we had one quick one. What's the toughest drill that you make your riders do?
Honestly, the toughest one physically is probably stand-up drills because it burns the back so bad. We'll do full motos like that from time to time. We send them through a lot, but the toughest one specifically, it's probably stand-up drills because they're not easy to do when you get ruts and tight corners, and you obviously have to carry your roll speed, and it burns the back, like I said. So that's probably the toughest one.
Yeah, I try to do a stand-up lap at the end of my last moto that I'm riding the day. I try to do a stand-up lap. I don't usually make it the whole lap, but
I'll sit down for that.
I try.
Yeah,
Matty B, man, I'm sorry again. That's been so long. It's been great talking to you.
Hey,
I feel like we could talk about a lot more stuff. So we definitely need maybe for outdoors. We'll get you back on, talk a little bit.
Get me back on, man. I'd love to do it.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congrats to you and Jenna on the baby coming. That's awesome, man. Really happy for the place you are in life. Miss seeing you at the races, but it's good to talk to you.
Yeah, likewise, man. So, yeah, hit me up anytime. I'd love to come back on. It was good talking to you guys for sure.
All right, buddy. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep. See ya. Matt Bisceglia. That was cool, man. Yeah, I wish it hadn't taken so long. What's up, bud?
How's it going?
Going good. You ready to do this?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Next up, it's been a little while since we talked to this guy, but we went back to 250 West, Scotty. So it's time to reintroduce the TruFusion Sports Derek Kelley check-in. TruFusion Sports was created out of a necessity for products designed for recovery and performance at the highest level. Scotty, did you know that?
I do now.
You do now. With natural anti-inflammatory ingredients like Arnica Montana flower and magnesium sulfate, their soaks and topicals relieve pain, mend injuries, and allow muscles to perform at their highest level. You can use code MOTOXPOD10 to save at TruFusionSports.com. Tonight, TruFusion Sports brings us our boy Derek Kelley. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Been a while.
It has been a while, man. It seems like we've been on the East Coast for a long time, but, man, back in Seattle, you qualified 8th, 7th in your heat, and 10th in the main. How do you feel, man? Was that a good race for you? Feel good about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any complaints.
You didn't hit the deck any, did you? I don't feel like you did.
No, I was
perfect.
I didn't even touch the ground all weekend, so that was good. No, I'm really happy with how things went. I mean, always looking for more, but it was gnarly, dude. The track was beat, and for the first race back, I'm just happy to get through it, you know?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the track. Like, some guys said it was kind of slick on top, but then, like, I heard differing, like differing accounts of how the track held up, but everybody said it was gnarly.
No, for sure. It was definitely funky because you'd come into some corners, it'd be like really slick, and the rhythms were super soft, and like the pockets and the ruts were gnarly, and it was just treacherous at points, and the whoops obviously were jacked up and really hard to get through. So
yeah, touch on those because they looked like they shouldn't be that hard. And then I listened to Mathis's post-race interviews he did with some guys, and it's like, yeah, when we were walking the track, they looked like we should just be able to rip right through them, but then they just like it was a weird set of whoops.
No, yeah, I mean, I was there for press, and I'm looking at these, I'm like, dude, this is a joke. Like, these are the smallest I've ever seen. And then we go into practice, and free practice, obviously, they're still pretty fresh for the 250s, and I was able to get through them just fine. And then we go to first qualifying, and they're all chewed up, and I'm like, wow, they're just not as easy as I thought they were.
Yeah, you guys on the West Coast have been just hammered with the whoops. Like, I know everybody, when we went to Mini, like, everybody was like, what the crap for the first West Coast or East Coast round. Right. They didn't look that bad, which, I mean, they weren't compared to all the others. It kind of feels like you guys are getting screwed over.
No, I mean, it's similar. Like the Seattle dirt ended up being kind of East Coast reminiscent. Yeah. So smaller whoops aren't necessarily easier, as you saw this weekend. It's just when they don't hold up like that, it's tricky, dude. Like, you're aiming for holes, and like there's not one line. And that's one thing about this weekend is usually they kind of break down at least in one area, and you can kind of hit for the line. But around it was just like every single inch of the whoop was just cupped out in a weird way.
That's what I heard, just based off all those post race interviews I heard. That seems to be the general consensus.
So was it kind of like, was it still somewhat the Seattle that you expected, or like kind of had you prepared maybe tire wise, or kind of what y'all were kind of planning on it being, or was it just completely different than what you expected?
Well, I mean, that was my first time racing Seattle, so it was going to be new either way. I definitely, looking back from races past, like I'm glad it wasn't dumping rain. So I mean, I have no complaints as far as the weather and how the track held up compared to what it could have been. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I'm good at mud, but I don't seem to have the greatest luck with goggles and stuff like that. So anytime we can avoid a mud race in Seattle, that's a win in my book.
Do I need to send you some X-Brand?
I don't know.
Why are you laughing?
Just the way you said it.
Darkside's sneaking.
Dude, he's laughing hard.
He's sneaking in there, man. You got to watch him. Yeah. He's got his pony cut off. He's trying all new angles, man.
Yeah, he's a sleazy salesman. No, I love Rich, and I wore X-Brand for a couple of years. So no, they're a great goggle, but for me, I just end up getting splashed with mud, and water gets in between the laminates or the roll. See anything, and I have to pull them off.
Yeah. Well,
it's just how it is, man. I'm waiting for them to develop a goggle where water can't get in between it.
Right. Yeah. Some windshield wipers on a helmet visor.
Yeah, I was actually talking to the Oakley guy. He helps us out a lot with prepping the goggles, and on the MXGP side, they have these tear-offs that are like have a sticker on the backside, so the water can't get behind them.
Oh yeah, so, okay, yeah.
So they throw laminates on, and then it's basically waterproof. And you have to pull the tear off or whatever, but it doesn't get in between them and ruin them.
Yeah, and this is probably common with other brands too. The X brand zip-offs. We don't have roll-offs because I think that's patented by Scott. But the zip-off system has like a little thing that goes over the laminate or over the film, so that water can't get behind it. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. I know what you're saying though with these tear-offs. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, pretty much every roll-off or zip-off or whatever brand
has that.
Have that little visor, but like water, if you get splashed hard enough, it gets up under that. And
sure.
Then you just pull across the thing. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, let's shift gears a little bit. What'd you do on the East Coast, huh? Like, what'd you guys do? Did you just keep training? Do you guys go on a vacation? Do you have some fun? What's up?
I got my wisdom teeth pulled.
That sounds fun. All right.
Or Tuesday after A3, so I had to for that. And then the first day I got back to riding, I had a nice little crash, and I almost busted my hand, so I had to take another 2 weeks off. And it wasn't exactly what I had hoped, but I mean, I was able to find some speed, but it mostly was just trying to recover from the stupid little thing that happened the week after. I mean, I was hoping to come in training and find a couple seconds or find some more stamina, but I ended up just hurting my hand, and now I'm chasing that around.
Jeez. That's not, way to go, man. You're supposed to go on like a nice vacation with our girl Kaylee, take her somewhere nice. Instead you go and try to get yourself hurt.
Yeah, we took a one-day trip to Palm Springs, but I tried to budget it and do it as cheap as I could.
I
and
hear
ended
that.
up sucking. And the resort wasn't anything like the pictures.
That's about right. It's out there. Yeah. It's like a National Lampoon's thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So will you go to the showdown in Atlanta? That's a big trip for you. That's a long way.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, the team is going to swing it. So I just actually, before you called, I was booking flights with my dad, and we booked our flights for Atlanta. So yeah, we'll be there for the East-West showdown.
I feel like you're a guy, if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't really like to set goals like per race. I can't remember, but will you set a goal for that?
I mean, I would love to make the main in the shootout.
I think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. But past that, I'm just looking to keep the top tens rolling and keep on improving. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all racing, and I don't think necessarily that having the East Coast there, as long as I make the main from the heat, I don't think it's going to be any different than a regular main event.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. We got a week off, and a week for your hand to recover, and then we got another East Coast. No, that is the showdown, right? In 2 weeks, is that right?
Yeah, it's a break this week.
Well, it's actually 3 weeks, so we have 2 weekends off. So I have this weekend off.
Yeah.
Because it's a break, and then it's St. Louis, I believe.
Right. Okay. Yeah, East Coast, and then
and then there. So I got another 3 weeks to find some more juice.
Some more juice. All right, you got one more, Scotty, before we let him go?
Yeah. So, are you doing outdoors?
Yes.
You are? Okay. So what are you kind of looking forward to that, and like kind of have you prepped at all, or kind of like how do you feel about going into that season?
I'm feeling good. The team, like I said, I don't know if I told you guys, but having a Supercross only deal, you have to try to figure out if you're going to do outdoors or not. And you either have to do it on your own or find somebody else to take your stuff, and it's kind of a rigmarole, honestly. Like you kind of just shotgun it and roll the dice and figure it out as you go. But this year I'm on the same team. The team's doing outdoors, and right now they're building me a set of suspension, and over this little break I'm going to do a few days of outdoor testing, and then we obviously have the break after Supercross. So I'm feeling like it's going to be a really good year for outdoors as well.
I like it. I like hearing that. Hopefully we'll be able to make some outdoor races this year.
So far away.
Yeah, it feels that way. But I'm glad, because I like Supercross. You're ready for outdoors already, which Scott.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm looking forward to the shootouts and the LCQ challenge, and then
Denver,
and then I'm ready for outdoors.
Yeah, I haven't really done any research on it. Is that just like 450?
No, it's 250 guy.
Is it?
He'll let some. Yeah, I mean it's for the 450s, but he has some wild cards, so he can have a 250.
You need to butter him up, send him some TruFusion stuff. Maybe he'll be a wild card.
Yeah, send him.
Hopefully, I'm not in the LCQ. Honestly,
right. Yeah.
But he's pulling wild cards. That could be anybody.
Yeah, I think he's going to let some 250 guys in there also. I know John Short's in, but I don't know on which bike.
Yeah.
As a wild card, I think they've already agreed on that. But yeah, it's pretty much.
He said he was open for.
There was a word I was looking for. It's going to be mayhem, Derek. You don't want to be in that thing.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
It's basically all the guys that have made top points in LCQ aren't making the mains. Like he's going to take the top. What do you say? 15 or 20? I can't remember the number. Whatever. He's going to have a full gate. He's going to take. I should know this as much as I listen to Pulp. But I don't know. I don't remember the details. But anyway, he's going to take like the top 15 guys in points, and then he has 5 wild cards that he can pick whoever he wants, and whatever money they raise, they're going to distribute to the different. He hasn't even decided that yet. Like last couple of years, they've raised like 70 grand or whatever per year, and they distribute that different ways. And he's going to pass that out to different riders. Maybe everybody will get a little money. He hasn't really fully decided yet. But he's trying to make it where it's mayhem. Like he's like, maybe I'll have Vince Freeze just
through.
Do what?
So like 5th through whatever. Like if you don't make the main, or like.
Yeah, you get points. You get points from being 5th and on.
Yeah,
in LCQ.
yeah, 5th and back. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah. That's how they're keeping track of it. And then he's joking about having like Vince Freeze just rolling around the infield, and if he decides to take somebody out, then he takes somebody out.
Shark in the water.
He's trying to make it crazy, but I think in the end it's just going to be basically a LCQ race for a lot of money.
Well, that's cool. A little depressing if you think about it too hard, but
Hey, some of those guys are pretty excited. The guys that aren't making mains are like, well, maybe make some money. So it's cool that he does it and gives back to those guys that don't make a lot of money.
That is cool. For sure.
All right, DK, we're gonna let you go, man. It's really great checking in. I know it's been a little bit, but I'm glad that we had at least one race back on the West Coast for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's awesome to get back to racing and awesome to be back on the podcast.
Yep, and awesome to get points in fantasy from you again. I know you love that.
Was it good?
Yeah, you did good for me. I don't remember what your overall points were, but it was good. Like I had a good week this week.
Man, I was proud of Darkside. He hadn't said anything about fantasy all show, and then now he's
I actually had a good week this week, and I just didn't brag about it. So
that's surprising.
And a lot of that is because of DK. All right, man. We'll let you go. Get back to Kaylee and chilling or whatever it is you're doing tonight. We're going to wrap the show up and call it a night.
All right, boys.
All right. See you, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Derek Kelley. I like that guy a lot, man. He's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. He was one of the people that it was very cool to get to meet in person and talk to him and stuff.
So I did get the email from Sawyer.
Yep. And then Desi's supposed to send you one too.
Cool. So those of you listening, when we were in commercial break, we were chatting with our YouTube people, and we're giving some shock socks away, doing some giveaways. Yeah. So again, if you guys don't have a chance, haven't taken the time or haven't had a chance to watch the show live on YouTube, like I said off air a minute ago, it's not the same as PulpMX. It's not quite as fluid.
Yeah, but I love our listeners though. They're like they're on our side, man. They're ride or die Moto-X-Pod.
Are here every week, and we talk to them off air. We do some stuff special with those guys, and we do some giveaways. So that was really cool. Appreciate everybody.
And I did want to shout out to Spencer. He usually catches our show most of the time on later, but he's actually been a little coming in and out of the chat. So
cool.
Shout out to him for joining too. He for those listening, he kind of helped us. We wouldn't have been able to eat in Dallas when we were going to Phoenix.
If it
was Spencer helped us.
Storm, and I told him my truck, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Spencer drove us to eat because he had a truck that was capable of doing so.
Yeah,
so shout out to Spencer and
and we went to the awesome world famous Waffle House.
Yeah.
The only thing
we ate it at Waffle
Dallas.
House like 3 times that weekend, or twice at least.
Definitely twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Waffle House rules. I'd go there right now.
Blackburn's Instagram.
Yeah, it's right here. I was looking it up. So Chance Blackburn, if you don't follow him, is funkyfresh_246. I knew it sounded like that's like a 80s hip hop, like DJ Magic Mike and the Funky Bunch and Funky Fresh, and don't laugh, that's like real people. DJ Magic Mike was real.
I know. That's why I'm laughing.
What's the actor? I think he's an actor. What that had so and so in the funky. Man, there's a rapper. I feel like
I remember.
Marky
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah. That's what. See, there I was close. Whatever.
Isn't that what it is? I don't know.
I think so. I think so. And then we got Chance. He's Funky Fresh 246.
Yeah.
Like he could easily have been a rapper in 1985. Opening for the Fat Boys.
Who's the guy that always they do the I guess it's the X brand tear offs or tweets at talent. I can't remember what they do. What's the one that's always Dark Side's Pony? Do you know who that is?
I do know who that is. I can't say who it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, it's a hidden identity, man.
Oh,
why?
My bad. I just thought it was funny that they
He's not
always
Dark
use
Side's
that.
Pony anymore. Now he's Jamie's YZ250.
Oh,
he changed it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, same guy, Jamie's YZ250. So not me. I promise you that. Yeah. So we talked about Randy. Oh, the Starcross 6s are coming out. I'm sure you guys heard that in Pulp MX. And Randy's nice enough to give me a set. Kiefer actually texted me right as the show was starting and was like, "Hey, Randy took your wheels to mount some Starcross 6s on them."
But you still haven't seen the bike yet. But when you finally see the thing, that thing's gonna be legit.
I
dude.
saw Kiefer sent me.
You already have the graphics ready from.
So Kiefer sent me an email, forwarded me an email. DecalWorks did graphics for my bike.
Ooh,
and
is that a conflict?
He's like, yes, it's a conflict. I mean, because Bermlords is doing graphics for it. They're the DecalWorks, and I appreciate DecalWorks for doing this. They're not going to stay on the bike though, and Kiefer knows that. It's just for the first ride.
Can we run like a combo where we have shroud? No.
For the Kiefer Inc. testing the first ride, it'll probably have the DecalWorks stuff on there because they are sponsors of Pulp, and this is all through Pulp MX. But Adam is working on my Bermlord stuff. The DecalWorks stuff. As soon as I saw it, though, I told Kiefer, I was like, dude, like they literally put the Star Wars logo on like the shrouds, or not the shrouds, the side panels. I was like, that's got to go, dude. He's like, why? You like Star Wars? I was like, yeah, but I don't want literally Star Wars on my dirt bike.
Is that what Kiefer did? He put actual.
Well, DecalWorks put Star Wars, not like the Star Wars font.
Like actually says Star
Wars.
Wars.
Star Wars in their font. I'm like, I don't want that. And there was a couple other graphics that were on the bike that really aren't people that I'm involved, like sponsored by anymore.
People would be like, "That was Lee
He's like,
like
but it was
Star
on
Wars."
the bike. I was like, yeah, so were like 1,000 other stickers. But anyway, but DecalWorks did do some graphics for free, or they're doing graphics for free. And that's really cool.
Put it up here.
Yeah, we'll do something with it. So that's cool. But Randy's got my wheels. The suspension's going to Race Tech. We're getting there. We're getting there. So it's cool.
Dude, I want to ride that thing.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you. Do we have anything else we need to talk about before we? Oh, I went to another concert this weekend. 2 of them actually.
Yeah, I'm sure. I saw your Instagram post, and I'm sure it was better in person. But that guy's voice sounded a little rough on the Instagram video.
Which one?
I don't remember. I just remember the band sounded good, but the guy was like, I was like, oh. I don't remember. Yeah, I've watched it. I didn't even watch the full video.
When I went live?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Because like I posted Candlebox Friday night. And he sounded awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it was him. I think it was a different one.
So that would have been Corrosion of Conformity the next night. And yeah, it probably did sound bad live.
Yeah, it's hard
on the phone.
Yeah, phones never do justice.
But that was Corrosion of Conformity. I think I live streamed Albatross and another song. But it was, I mean, that show, they were good. The other bands I was kind of like, but I was there to see some friends. I got to meet, you won't care about this, but I got to meet Dimebag Darrell's widow.
That's
Rita.
awesome. Actually, I do care about that.
So I got to hang out with Rita for a few minutes.
It was cool being in Arlington because that's where Dimebag's from.
Yeah. That's why his fiance or his widow was there because she goes to a lot of the shows around there. And then hung out with the Pepper Keenan, who is the singer of Corrosion Conformity, for a few minutes. Tony fucking Campos on Instagram. He's a guitar player for Hellfire. He's a moto guy, listens to Pulp.
Nice.
His buddy is their guitar tech. So I tried to find him, but he was back at the bus. I didn't get to see him, but there were some moto guys there. It was kind of cool. And then, I got to hang out with Kyle, the singer of Mothership, who I've talked about on here. I love Mothership. They're from Dallas. And Kyle was like, dude, I'll come on your podcast. We'll talk about music. So I might be doing a one-off with Kyle Jewett from Mothership. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's not Moto Talk. So I want to thank Cherubies USA, Race Tech, Fly Racing, X-Brand Goggles, Works Connection, Torque One Racing, Art Jerky, Bermlords Graphics and Jersey ID, Shock Socks, Williams Motorworks, Extreme Colors, Blood Lubricants, Power Band Racing, TruFusion Sports. I say this every week pretty much. Support our sponsors, man. Like, we just talked about TruFusion Sports. If you guys are using, let's say you're using some CBD roll-on type stuff, the TruFusion Sports stuff is fantastic. I use it all the time. Hang tight. Stepped away from the mic. I've got the Rapid Cooling Cream right here, the muscle and joint pain relief. What camera's on there, Scotty?
I can put it. It's on you.
This stuff right here I use, like when I go on a bike ride, mountain bike ride. Just hell, I use it at night because I'm sore after work, and it's really good, man. Aloe, arnica, MSM, menthol. But anyway, it's muscle and joint pain relief. This stuff helps. It is Derek Kelley's company. He's part owner in it, and we have a promo code. Excuse me. That promo code is MotoXPod10. So go buy some stuff, man. Support Derek Kelley, support our show, and it can help you out, right? And the other, obviously, the other promo codes we have are our jerky, MotoXPod21, stuff killer. I ate like half a package.
Yeah, I need to order some of that
stuff last night watching Pulp. I was chewing that shit up.
Wait, what's it again?
The promo code?
Mm-hmm.
You should have it on your phone. I texted all that stuff to you. I told you to use that stuff when you're posting on Instagram. Do you not have it anymore?
Sure, no.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you again. But you need to, you like. When
well,
you're
I just repost their thing. Their thing says everything.
But it doesn't have our codes in it. That's why I sent you a text
okay.
at one point. Like when you do
You're
a
right.
post, you need to say, hey, anybody that we have a code with, we need that on the Instagram post.
Okay.
I'll send it to you again.
I'm learning from my mistakes, everybody.
That's fine. But our jerky code is MotoXPod21.
MotoXPod21.
At eatrjerky.com.
Gotcha.
I'll send it all to you again. And if you guys have any questions on any of these promo codes, just email us at motoxpodshow@gmail.com, and I'll try to hook you up. Torque One Racing does not have one. We have one at Race Tech. Want to get your suspension done, clean your fluids, change your fluids, Moto X Pod. Saves you some money. X-Brand Goggles doesn't have one, but I can hook you guys up if you just contact me. So anyway, I'm kind of flubbing a lot of this, just trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, but we need to wrap this thing up unless you two people have any hot topics that we want to touch on real quick before we go.
Are we not doing our new segment?
We did it already. The our jerky beef of the week.
Oh, that was
this week it was Chance. And,
okay. I thought I was
Sanford.
confused. I thought we were doing something like afterwards.
We can at some point, like if there's not another beef during the week, but we can come up with something. But like, yeah, nothing else tonight. We're gonna call it.
Okay.
Unless YouTube's got anything hot to talk about.
Nope. There was one. Someone said hot take. Tomac does the World Supercross series, and I said
not a chance.
Outdoors.
That's
first.
a hot take.
It's a very hot take.
That's almost as hot as me picking Dylan Ferrandis for the Supercross championship. But
yeah, that apparently you were testing us all on.
No, I meant it. I meant it. I thought he was going to win, but I was wrong. It happens.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'm wrong.
It'd be cool to see him and Tomac battle in the outdoors.
Yeah.
Throw Sexton in there. Throw.
Dude, Chase was supposed to be on tonight, but he got hurt. So he missed my text last night. He texted me like Friday.
Guys had a lot going on.
He texted me like Thursday or Friday. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I meant to get back to you. Or it was early in the week. He said, I'm in for next week. Guaranteed, promise. Then he gets hurt. So I texted him. I was like, dude, I don't expect you to even try to come on. No big deal. So yeah, we missed that on Chase.
Oh.
Chase Sexton.
Yeah, calling him Chance is probably not a good way to get him.
Chance Blackburn. So anyway, we'll get Chase on again. All right, let's wrap this thing up. I guess, as always, I'm going to get into the wrap-up show.
Yeah, shout out to the YouTube people. They were strong tonight, and some new people. If every week has been a couple of new people coming in, so we appreciate that. It makes it more fun for us.
Subscribe and like our YouTube channel, patreon.com if you want to support the show. We've had a couple people pull out, and I understand that. Sometimes financial things change. Mm-hmm. We've had some new ones. We've had some people lessen. Yeah, we've had some guys go from like $10 a month to $1 a month. But, hey, it's still $1 a month. It still helps out. So we appreciate all those guys. Sorry, I need to get some more free content or some special content out to you guys. Working on that. Promise. It's just overwhelmed right now, but I'm working on it. Other than that, we're good.
Someone said, let's talk about Steve saying Hager was the original Van Halen singer.
God, you don't even know.
I know it's Van Hagar. I just read it as I was reading it. Okay. I read Hagar. Anyway. I know. Okay, Sammy Hagar. I understand.
That he said he was the original singer.
Yeah, and then he said that you didn't flip. He was surprised that you didn't flip out.
I did say something to him, I think. I said something. Yeah, I think I said, no, he wasn't the original, but...
Yeah, I mean, definitely not.
I think he was joking, I think, that... Or he just brain farted, but obviously, Steve knows Sammy's not the original, but to Steve, he is the best. So I think he was just sort of being silly. Dude, I want to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this in the wrap-up. You haven't gotten to it yet.
No.
So I don't want to ruin it for you yet. Well, you're listening, though. You won't even know. Something happened last night at the end of Pulp that Randy did that I thought Steve was going to come unglued, and it barely fazed him.
Well, so
But you won't know if you're just listening. Well, you might. Well,
just tell me.
Well, listen to it first, and if you don't figure it out, we'll talk about it later. Because something happens on camera, and Steve doesn't really say what it is until a little bit later. You'll figure it out, I think. But I was coming unglued. I was like, I wasn't yelling, but inside my head, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Randy just did that! Oh my God!" And Steve was just like you could see on his reaction, he was like, "What the fuck?" But he just kind of smiled a little bit. I was like, "Okay."
Well, now I want to know what it is.
Well, watch the YouTube. Oh my God. I'll tell you if you really want to know. So he has a bottle of water that was Damon Bradshaw's when Damon was in studio from like 2 years ago on his table.
Oh yeah, it stayed in there forever.
And it's got a label on it, Damon Bradshaw's water, the date, the show number. Steve said something to Randy about making noise. He had a water bottle. Randy had a water bottle, and Steve said something about making noise with it. Randy grabbed that water bottle of Damon Bradshaw's and drank all the water. Oh. And Steve was like, "Okay." And I was flipping out. Come to find out, he had printed another bottle and faked it. But this was like 10 minutes later when he told us that. I even texted Steve. I was like, "You didn't tell anybody what happened. Like, they just heard you go, okay." Like, he didn't say you're drinking out of Damon's water. Like, so if you're only listening in post and not watching, you don't know what they're talking about until later when Randy goes, "I really thought you were going to get mad about that." And then he pulls the original out. And Steve's like, "Oh, okay."
So he pulled
I knew you were going to do something. But like I was flipping.
Yeah, that's messed
flipping
up.
out.
That's messed up.
It would have been if he had done it for real.
really done
and
it.
like 10 minutes later, he's still drinking out of it. I'm like, "Oh my God, he's going to drink it all." Like I bought in. Randy had me fooled. All right, we're out.
All right, peace, guys.